Hey guys, thanks for watching Beyond Science. It's Mike Chen. Swords are the objects of many mystical, heroic, and even tragic legends. Fueled by tales of bloodshed and conquest, stories about various swords throughout history have grown to fantastical proportions, combining fact and fiction until the two are sometimes indistinguishable. In ancient Japan, the sword is dubbed as the soul of the samurai and is considered as the way of the samurai's emblem of power and prowess. To the samurai, the possession of this dangerous instrument instills a feeling and air of self-respect and responsibility. Carrying the sword is a symbol of what the samurai carries in his mind and heart, loyalty and honor. And because these weapons were placed in such high regard, so were the swordsmiths that forged them. The esteem placed on Japan's ancient swordsmiths was so tremendous that some of them at one point or another became as widely acclaimed, if not more, as the samurai that wielded the weapons they created. And among the greatest and most legendary of Japan's swordsmiths was Muramasa Sengo. Here's a little background. Muramasa Sengo lived and pursued his sword-making craft during the Muromachi period between the 14th and 15th century AD in feudal Japan, in what was Ise province in a town called Kuwana. He founded the Muramasa school and passed down his art and style of sword-making to his students, a once active legacy which continued for the next 2 centuries. Both Muramasa and his school of sword-making were renowned for the extraordinary quality as well as the sharpness of their blades, which made the weapons greatly prized and highly sought after by warriors and generals even in the early 1500s. Now, Muramasa was by all accounts an incredible swordsmith to the point that he became well regarded as one of the finest swordsmiths to have ever lived. However, though he was said to have amazing talent, he was also known to have a troubled mind. Aside from the quality and sharpness of his swords, he also gained notoriety for his rather volatile nature, as well as the dark curse and the evil that were believed to have been instilled in his weapons. And that brings us to the curse of the Muramasa blades. The rumors regarding the supposed curse of the Muramasa blades mainly originated from the abrasive and venomous personality of Muramasa himself. Aside from his brilliance as a swordsmith, he was also believed to be rather insane and prone to bursting into sudden fits of violent rage, during which he would indiscriminately lash out at anyone unfortunate enough to be near him. This unbalanced mind that bordered complete madness, along with his relentless drive for perfection and his violent passion for crafting deadly swords, created weapons which became the product of his genius, intense determination, bloodlust, and insanity. And these qualities were said to be mystically passed on to the swords that he forged. Muramasa's swords were said to have a life of their own. There are tales claiming that the swordsmith had made a deal with the devil to make the deadliest and most powerful weapons. Aside from that, Muramasa allegedly had the habit of whispering a prayer to the gods that his swords would become the greatest destroyers. The swords created by Muramasa were believed capable of possessing their wielders and pushing them beyond the brink of murderous rage. There are also stories that the swords can grant superior swordsmanship and bestow upon their owners temporary superhuman strength and resistance to pain and damage. The cursed Muramasa swords were also believed to have a taste and thirst for blood. If they were not satisfied by the spilled blood of an enemy, the swords would turn on their owners and force them to commit suicide for their appeasement. If a Muramasa blade was drawn, that sword would ruthlessly demand blood before it could be placed back into its scabbard, which meant almost certain doom for its wielder if no one else was around for the weapon to unleash its bloodlust upon. There are also claims that even if a cursed Muramasa sword is not drawn, it would occasionally call out to be unleashed and would even try to compel their owners to commit murder. Although the Muramasa swords were irrefutably effective weapons that were proven reliable in battle, the dark curse surrounding them allegedly made these weapons just as dangerous for its wielders and those around them. The swords were believed to hardly discriminate against friend and foe, using their owners only as mere instruments to help them kill people, even if they were the wielder's dear friends, allies, and even family members. It was also quite common to hear about owners of Muramasa swords going insane with their minds bent to or destroyed by the demonic will of their weapons. Sometimes these warriors ended up killing themselves to escape the curse and the madness that come with the swords. Now, you might think that people would stay away from these crazy sociopathic swords, but even with the evil reputation of the blades, the swords remained popular in Japan, with Muramasa Sengo's school of sword making enduring for the next 2 centuries. It was only during the reign of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun of the late feudal government in Japan, that Muramasa's blades fell out of favor. The shogun believed that the Muramasa swords were cursed and blamed them for the demise of many of his allies, friends, and relatives. The shogun's father, Matsudaira Hirota, as well as his grandfather, Matsudaira Kiyoyasu, were apparently both cut down by their retainers, who were in a murderous trance while wielding such swords. Tokugawa even claimed that he was also cut by a Muramasa katana that was carried by one of his samurai guards while he inspected his ranks. His own wife and adopted son were also allegedly executed using a Muramasa sword. These, if you want to believe coincidences, gave rise to the legend that Muramasa's blades possessed the curse or power to kill members of the Tokugawa family. As a result of this, the shogun decided to ban the ownership of Muramasa blades. Many of them were melted down, but some were also hidden away. The shogun took the ban so seriously that those who were caught in possession or keeping Muramasa blades were severely punished. One notable case was that of Takanaka Ume, the magistrate of Nagasaki. In 1634, the magistrate was found to have hoarded as many as 24 Muramasa blades, and because of this, he was ordered to commit seppuku, a ritual suicide by disembowelment. Despite the harsh punishment imposed upon those who were caught to be in possession of Muramasa swords, there were those who insisted on keeping their blades, even going as far as to change the markings on these blades to avoid detection from authorities. And because these swords were thought to have a special affinity for killing members of the Tokugawa family, there was also a heightened demand for the Muramasa blades among the shogun's enemies. Thus, numerous forgeries have been made by lesser swordsmiths for profit. And because of the large number of forgeries crafted during this era, it has become incredibly difficult today to reliably determine if a purported Muramasa blade is indeed authentic or not. So given the violent tales surrounding these swords, were Muramasa's blades really cursed? Were the stories about these weapons' supposed evil thirst for blood and hunger to commit murder simply a consequence of their extreme popularity at the time? I mean, quality Muramasa blades had been produced for decades upon decades back then, not just by one man, but an entire school of swordsmiths he founded. And because of their prevalence during that time, they were used often by Japan's warrior class and were wielded in many killings related to the shogun. While this may indicate a very strong coincidence, Muramasa's blades, even in modern times, continue to serve as a symbol of the superior sword-making skills of the Japanese, to the point that they have been incorporated in today's pop culture. Magical and powerful weapons based on these legendary swords can be found in various medias, from video games to Japanese anime, and even in the Marvel universe. So do I believe that these swords were cursed? Abso-freaking-lutely. Like I mentioned in past videos, I do believe that the spirit of the creator can be passed on to the things that they create or have a strong bond with. That's why we have cursed dolls. Especially something like a sword that has such a connection with their creators. And also it's an instrument of killing, so not only is it connected to its creators, it's also connected to its victims. And I also think if the Batusai had a Muramasa blade, he would have been the Super Saiyan Batusai. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is just merely a blade, it's nothing more, or do you think there is something to this curse? Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like it, please hit that subscribe button, and also check out my previous video about the third eye. If you haven't seen it, definitely give it a look. I would really appreciate that. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you later.